Good morning to everyone. Today's class we are going to discuss infective arthritis. Infective arthritis. The arthritis due to infection. Either it is a bacterial infection, it is tuberculosis infection, fungal infection, viral infection. So whatever the causes of this, either bacterial, viral, tubercular, fungal, so all these groups are collectively grouped in a group that is called infective arthritis. The most important in these all groups, today we are going to discuss about the bacterial arthritis. First of all, we are going to cover the acute and the chronic. So the first most important, we are going to discuss about the acute bacterial arthritis. Acute bacterial arthritis. What is acute bacterial arthritis? It is a serious medical problem. It is a serious medical problem. Acute bacterial arthritis is a very serious medical problem requiring prompt treatment, prompt recognition and appropriate treatment. It's a very, if you are going across with the bacterial arthritis, acute bacterial arthritis, if you suspect it, so when you suspect it might be a case of acute bacterial arthritis, you must be aware of that. It's a very serious medical problem because it's going to damage the joint, it's going to damage the limb, it's going to damage the life. We take the life. So acute bacterial arthritis is a very, very serious medical problem. It must go into your mind. Acute bacterial arthritis is not simply like rheumatoid arthritis or it's a very serious problem. So keep it in mind. It is a very serious problem, serious medical problem requiring prompt recognition and appropriate treatment. Immediate start, recognize it as early as possible and start treatment as early as possible to prevent, to avoid the permanent joint damage. If you want to prevent it, avoid it to permanent damage of the joint, so you must recognize early and appropriate treatment should start as early as possible. This is very important. Appropriate start. Which group is involved in this case? Any group, any age group. Either younger age, middle age or younger age. So no specific age, but in each and every age is involved in this group. So any age group can be involved, but if the child is younger, so problem will be more severe. More severe if child is in case of child, it is more severe, but all age group can involve in this acute bacterial arthritis. Etiology and pathogenesis of acute bacterial arthritis. Usually due to bacteremia. Bacteria, the majority of the case, it is found bacteria is the most common etiology of this arthritis. These three are very important. There are three important points to be noted. The first point is the collagen receptors found on Staphylococcus aureus. The most common pathogen of acute bacterial arthritis is Staphylococcus aureus, and these Staphylococcus aureus have collagen receptors that easily attach to the collagen of the articular cartilage. So this is one. Second one is lack of limiting basement membrane. Lack of limiting basement membrane in the capillary of the synovium. the blood going to the synovium, and in the synovium the capillaries don't have limiting basement membrane. If the capillaries don't have the limiting basement membrane in the synovium, then what will happen? The bacteria, whatever the bacteria lodged in the intravascular in the intravascular space within the blood vessel, due to bacteremia, the bacteria is found in the intravascular space in the blood capillary, capillaries and blood vessels. So if the limiting membrane is not there, basement membrane is not found in the capillary of the synovium, then what will happen? Whatever the bacteria lodge in the blood vessel, intravascular area, which easily goes into the extravascular space of the synovium. Extravascular space of the synovium easily transmitted from the intravascular to extravascular space. Where? In the synovium. Because of lack of basement membrane in capillaries. So this is second one, this is an important point. And third important point is the synovium has a fibroblast. This is called synovial fibroblast. This synovial fibroblast inhibits the phagocytosis of the bacteria. Whatever the bacteria goes into the synovium, the joint, this synovial fibroblast inhibits the phagocytosis of the bacteria. So bacteria is not going to kill by the phagocytosis, but it will increase in the joint cavity. So these three are very important points to be noted in the etiology of acute bacterial arthritis. Once the bacteria enters into the extravascular space of the synovium gets infected. When the synovium gets infected, what is happening? There is hyperemia that leads to hyperemia of the synovium. This hyperemia leads to more and more polymorph nucleosides come into the picture, and immediate response of the bacteremia hyperemia is to increase polymorph nucleoside at the place where there is a bacteria in the defense of the bacteria. So our defense mechanism gets started, and the first soldier come into picture is polymorph nucleoside. After that, mononuclear cells come into picture, and lastly the lymphocyte come into picture around 3 weeks. Within 4 to 6 days, what is happening there? There is a degradation of the ground substance, glycosaminoglycans. Destruction of the ground substance. This destruction of this proteoglycans, Pg, this destruction of the Pg, destruction of the ground substance will lead to destruction of the articular cartilage within 4 to 6 days. So if you want to prevent before 4 to 6 days. So as early, appropriate treatment should start as early as possible. Appropriate treatment should start as early as possible before 4 to 6 days. Only then you can prevent destruction of the articular cartilage. So this is very important. This is very catchy and important. You have to immediately come into picture to combat the destruction of a ground substance. What is happening with, if there is a depletion of the ground substance in the joint, in the articular joint cartilage, what will happen? That lead to activation of enzyme formation. Leads to inflammatory response, production of toxin, the bacteria produces the toxin and stimulation of the lymphocytes. So these three things start after destruction of the Dawn substance. These three things: activation of enzyme that lead to inflammatory response, production of the toxin, and stimulation of lymphocytes. So this, so processes. This way the process is going on. Increased T lymphocytes, increased T lymphocyte in the synovium, and degradation of the Dawn substance Pg, proteoglycans, leads to collagen exposed to the collagen layers of the cartilage, exposed to the collagenase. So collagenase directly come into the contact with the collagen. So destruction of cartilage collagen begins. If the collagen get damaged by the collagenase, then what happens? The mechanical properties of the articular cartilage is altered. So mechanical property of the articular cartilage is altered. So mechanical properties, what it means? If the cartilage shape is destructed, if the pressure is going on that damaged cartilage, it will easily lead to get destroyed, being susceptible to, unable to take the load. So increase susceptibility to wear. It will damage easily. When you take the load, it will damage. And finally, this to complete destruction of the joint, and destruction of the joint final coming to the picture is dislocation of the joint or osteomyelitis. The final picture is dislocation of the joint or osteomyelitis will ensue. So to prevent this dislocation of the joint or osteomyelitis or complete destruction of the joint, you should start as early as possible. Treatment should start as early. So this is the picture when the son of that bacteria is there. So bacteria goes into the synovium. From the intravascular space to extravascular space. From extravascular space which will lead to hyperemia. This hyperemia may lead to increase local polymorph or mononuclear cells and lymphocytes. And finally it leads to destruction of the proteoglycan Dawn substance. This destruction of Dawn substance and lymphocytes leads to collagen to be exposed by the collagenase. And this collagenase, once the collagen gets destroyed, destruction of the collagen starts, breakdown of the collagen starts, that lead to mechanical property articular cartilage get altered. If it gets altered, it is susceptible to wear, and finally to complete destruction of the joint, dislocation of the joint, and osteomyelitis will ensue. So this is very grave complication. These are the very, very, very grave complication of acute bacterial arthritis. The few common important findings you must keep in mind. The host factor is important. If your body is immunocompromised, body is not stronger, then easily the acute bacterial arthritis will ensue. Because each and every case of bacteremia not lead to acute bacterial arthritis. Why so? Because of host factor. If patient is weak, diabetic, patient is suffering with cancer, patient is suffering with hypogammaglobulinemia, chronic liver disease, corticosteroid or immunosuppressive drugs, chronic alcoholism, previous joint damage by trauma or any other chronic arthropathy like rheumatoid arthritis or cardiovascular spondylitis, penetrating wound, direct penetrating wound led to the joints. So this joint will directly get infected. So that direct penetrating wound to the joints. Adjacent osteomyelitis. If the osteomyelitis occur in the radius, lower end of radius, it may reach to the wrist joint. infection of the upper part of the femur can reach to the hip joints. So adjacent osteomyelitis, intra-articular steroid injection. If you are going to inject the joint directly with the steroid injection, so it may also lead to increase in the infection rate of the arthritis. If you are going to replace the joint, this is called prosthetic joint surgery. These are the provocative factor. These are the host response is get destroyed. In that case, the acute bacterial arthritis may happen. So these are the factors you must keep in mind when you are dealing with the acute bacterial arthritis, or even when you are going to do prosthetic joint replacement, you must aware there must be no infection like that. So because it will increase the acute bacterial arthritis, that is very, very disastrous. If you are going to do an injection in the joint, any injection you are going to do in the joints, you must be aware. It must be thorough aseptic, antiseptic precaution must be taken before going there. Not give the just take and give the insulin injection in the main is not so. So must take all antiseptic and aseptic precaution before giving this injection. So these are the very, very important parts when you are dealing with the acute bacterial osteoarthritis. The normal finding is the most common bacteria in case of acute bacterial arthritis is Staphylococcus aureus, the most common altogether. But few statistics is like this. Neonates most commonly involved with Staphylococcus aureus. More than after neonates or before 2 years, H. influenza is most common and Staphylococcus aureus. After 2 years, again Staphylococcus aureus. Young adult, the most common young adult is usually with Neisseria gonorrhoeae. And elderly adult, again S. aureus and streptococcal. SLE or sickle cell disease, Salmonella. In case of hemophilic patients, S. aureus and Staphylococcus aureus. Immunosuppressive patients, S. aureus, Mycoplasma and fungi, and IV users. Most of the common IV users, they have the Staphylococcus pseudomonas. Pseudomonas is common pathogen in IV. The patient who are taking the IV drugs, they are most prone to the Pseudomonas organization. So these are the basic findings, basic aesthetics, and you must keep it in mind, or it will be helpful in your objective exams. Acute bacterial arthritis. The most common is the fever. The most common finding we have in case of acute bacterial arthritis is fever. The affected joint, whichever the joint is affected, either hip, knee, elbow, wrist, whatever the joint is affected, that joint is warm, erythematous, swollen and painful. The joint gets warm, erythematous, swollen and painful, but it is least marked. These features are least marked in elderly and immunosuppressive patients. If your patient is elderly or immunosuppressive patient, this finding get lessened. In case of neonate, what the figure? The patient is very, very irritable. Failure to thrive. Asymmetry of the limb position. Both limb cannot be in the same position. They are different in position. They feel displeasure when you handle the. If you handle the child, the patient that limb or that joint, the patient feel displeasure. You don't like your handling. The patient, the child, will not like your handling, displeasure at being handled. So these are the features you find in case of neonates. What are the joints involved? Any joint can be involved. Any joint can involve. The most commonly the knee, hip, shoulder, wrist, ankle, and elbow, the spine. These are the very common. These are the very common joints involved in case of acute bacterial arthritis. In the spine, the vertebral body and adjacent SI joints is very important. This is involved. In case of IV drug user, very specific. In case of the IV drug user, the most common joint involved is sternoclavicular joint and sacroiliac joint. Sternoclavicular joint and sacroiliac joint is the most common joint involved in case of IV drug user. Very important part we find in case of septic arthritis. You may find these features, but swelling is very delayed. It's because joint is deep in space, so swelling is not easily detected in case of it unless it is huge in amount. Unless it is huge in amount, so swelling is very much delayed or it is very much less easily detected in case of septic arthritis. So these are the features. In case of neonates, it's very important. If hip get involved in the less than 1 year of age in neonates, that lead to Thomas-Smith arthritis. Thomas-Smith arthritis. Thomas-Smith arthritis. Destruction of the head. So destruction of the head, complete destruction of the head can occur if the children, neonates involved in less than 1 year of age, hip joint is involved. So this is very grave complication. Total head get destroyed and lead to Thomas-Smith very bad complication in septic arthritis of the hip. So these are the features you will find in case of acute bacterial arthritis. Imaging of acute bacterial osteoarthritis. The gold standard basic is X-ray. In early case, you find the next part. You find this is soft tissue swelling and distension of the capsule. In early stage, you find like this. But in late cases, juxta-articular osteomyelitis, periosteal elevation, joint space narrowing, and body erosion. These are the very important in late case. Late case, X-ray is very useful, but in early case, it is not very useful. Early case, it is not very useful, but in late case, very useful test. Early phase, ultrasound is very useful. Ultrasound is very useful because it detects very small amount of collection. Very small amount of collection can be detected by the ultrasonography. It is also used to aspirate the joint fluid without opening without incision. So close drainage, close aspiration and drainage of the joint is done by ultrasonography. So these two things are very important in case of ultra diagnosis. So early case ultrasonography is very important. Just like X-ray, CT scan is not very useful in early cases, but it is very useful in the late cases. And MRI is very useful in the early cases. It detects the soft tissue swelling, detect the capsular distension, it detects the so X-ray, MRI is very useful in the early case. Then so ultrasonography and MRI is useful in early cases, and CT and X-ray is useful in the late cases. What are the other features? Radionuclide bone scan. So bone scan is also very important. Radionuclide bone scan. So usually three types of bone scanning is possible. The most common is the technetium 19M. Technetium 19M is very common bone scanning. And other one is the gallium citrate and the indium 111 chloride. So these three radioisotopes are used in case of radionuclide bone scan. So in bone scan you will find the blood flow. blood flow, hyperemia. If there is a local infection is there, so hyperemia is increased, so it's detected hot spot. So what bone scan is increased blood flow. Where there is increased blood flow, your tracer will go there. Those element will go there, so it will detect this area, is hyperemic area, is more flow this tissue into the tissue. These drugs goes there. So these are the very useful guide in case of bone scan. So you can detect any where there is hyperemia, where there is dual. So these are the imaging technique: X-ray, ultrasonography, CT, MRI, and radionuclide bone scans are very useful armamentarium in diagnosing the acute bacterial arthritis. In case of acute bacterial feature in case of acute bacterial arthritis, usually the joint would get aspirated, especially those joints get infected, so joint would get aspirated, and examination of that joint plan is very important in case of acute bacterial arthritis. The joint fluid look like cloudy and grossly purulent. WBC is more than 1 lakh per cubic millimeters. It's more than 90%. More than 90% is neutrophil. Glucose is less than 50%. So these are the findings you will find in case of respiration. Normal TC and DC is increased. TC and DC of WBC will increase. ESR is also get increased. So these are ESR is also get increased. So these are the features and findings you will find in case of laboratory finding. Diagnosis is only based on the culture and sensitivity. Culture and sensitivity is very important. Culture is very important. So culture by taking the needle biopsy or by open surgical drainage, either by open surgical drainage or by needle biopsy, and send it for the culture and sensitivity. So this is also the diagnosis is usually made on this. So aspiration is also give clear picture, warm, swollen joint, and when you aspirate it, it is a cloudy and grossly purulent. Normally establish the clinical diagnosis of acute bacterial arthritis. So, or you go on this. So these are these findings you will find. So this is very important in case of bacterial arthritis. Acute bacterial arthritis is very important. Just to know, we have discussed all about. Before 3 to 4 days, before as early as possible, if you want to prevent the severe complication like complete destruction of the joint, dislocation of the joint, osteomyelitis of the joint, so you must treat as early as possible. Prompt treatment is very important with appropriate antibiotic. Prompt treatment with appropriate antibiotic is very important. NAD has classified these, NAD has given a clear-cut picture, guidelines. NAD given a guideline for treating this. Guideline for treating this acute bacterial arthritis is, first one is joint must be adequately drained. The first one, once you diagnose the case of acute bacterial arthritis, you must drain it as early as possible. So joint must be drained adequately, either by arthrocentesis or by arthrotomy. Either you have aspirated it nicely with the help of this ultrasound or MRI, so arthrocentesis is there, or you cut the capsules and by way of arthrotomy, you must adequately drain. Adequate drainage is very important. Adequate drainage is very important if you are going to treat the case of acute bacterial arthritis. So now one first point. adequately trained, either by arthrocentesis or by arthrotomy. Second one is you must give the appropriate antibiotic. You must give appropriate antibiotic. Before you have send the whatever the fluid you are collected by arthrocentesis or arthrotomy, send it for the personal culture sensitivity. But still, prophylactic antibiotic, just take the guidelines from the what the age, what the problems, or what the diagnosis, what the infection can be. So on the basis of the normal aesthetics, as you have given earlier, you must start antibiotic as early as possible to diminish the systemic effects of the effects of the bacteria. To diminish the systemic effects of the bacteria, must start antibiotic. Don't wait for the culture sensitivity to come and then. So if the culture sensitivity come, you can switch over or change over to the new antibiotic, but start antibiotic. So drainage is very important, antibiotic is important, and third is also very important that a joint must be rested in a stable position. If the joint is not rested in position, it is going to increase the inflammation or more pain is there. So joints must be positioned in a stable position. So these three are guidelines given by the NAD. So when you are treating the case of acute bacterial arthritis, you must keep in mind the guidelines of NAD. What is say? The first thing, adequately drained. Second thing is antibiotic, and third for stable positioning of the joint. So these three are very important in case of, and even along with it, if the pain is there, so you may need an SID. You may need an SAID to control the pain and fever and other things, vitamin, calcium, vitamin, protein, these are the other features. But the common guidelines of the treatment of acute bacterial arthritis is like this. Thank you.